There was a long road made of pale stone that stretched through a quiet valley. It was not a road for rushing. It did not like fast feet or loud wheels. This road had learned how to move slowly, even though it stayed in the same place. During the day, sunlight rested on the stones and warmed them gently. At night, the stones cooled and released the day little by little, like a soft memory. The road believed that nothing should be lost all at once. Along this road lived a child named Anil. Anil liked evenings best, when the world loosened its grip. When shadows grew longer and sounds softened, Anil felt lighter, as if the road itself was helping carry the weight of the day. Every night, Anil walked a short way along the road before going to bed. Shoes touched the stone quietly. Step, pause, step, pause. The road welcomed each footstep without echoing. The road did not lead anywhere important. It simply existed to be walked upon gently. Grass leaned toward it. The air rested close to the ground. Nothing hurried Anil forward. As Anil walked, breathing slowed naturally. There was no counting, no trying. The road set the pace, and the body followed. A warm stillness spread upward from the stones, through the feet, through the legs, settling softly in the chest. Thoughts drifted past like distant clouds, not stopping long enough to matter. The road seemed to offer a quiet feeling, not a voice. You do not need to arrive. Anil stopped walking and stood very still. The night wrapped around everything evenly. No direction felt better than another. Being right here was enough. When Anil finally turned back toward home, the calm came too, staying close like a gentle shadow. The road remained behind, peaceful and unchanging, ready for tomorrow's slow steps. And by the time Anil reached the door, sleep had already begun, opening quietly. Inside Anil's home, there was a small lamp placed near the bed. It was not bright, and it was not meant to light the whole room. Its job was simpler. It stayed steady. When the lamp was turned on, the light did not jump or shimmer. It spread slowly, like warmth moving through a blanket. The corners of the room softened. Shadows became round and gentle, losing any sharp edges. Anil liked this lamp because it never surprised the eyes. It knew how to be calm. The light rested on the walls, on the floor, on the quiet shapes of furniture that had already settled in for the night. The lamp made the room feel held. Nothing felt far away. Everything stayed within reach, even thoughts, which grew slower and heavier. Anna lay down and watched the ceiling change color slightly under the warm glow. The lamp did not ask for attention. It simply stayed doing its quiet work. Outside the window, the night moved, but inside, the air stayed still. The lamp held the room steady, protecting it from sudden changes. Anil's breathing deepened. In, out, the light remained constant, matching the rhythm of rest. It did not grow brighter or dimmer. It trusted the moment. The day loosened its hold. Muscles softened. The space behind the eyes grew quiet. When Anil reached for the switch, the lamp did not disappear suddenly. The light faded gently, leaving behind a memory of warmth rather than darkness. Even without the lamp, the room stayed calm. The light seemed to linger in the walls, the floor, the air. Anil turned slightly and settled in. The feeling of steadiness remained, guiding sleep forward. And the night continued, smooth and uninterrupted. Above Anil's bed stretched a wide ceiling, pale during the day and gentle at night. When darkness arrived, the ceiling did not disappear. It changed. It became a quiet surface that knew how to hold the night without letting it fall. The ceiling stayed very still. It did not press downward or pull attention upward. It simply rested in place, creating a sense of space that felt safe and open. As Anil lay beneath it, the ceiling seemed to grow softer, as if it were made of calm rather than stone or wood. The darkness above did not feel heavy. It felt smooth, like a deep lake seen from far away. Anil's eyes grew tired of looking and slowly closed. Even then, the ceiling continued its gentle work, holding the dark so it stayed even and kind. Shadows gathered, but they did not move quickly. They settled into corners and stayed there, quiet and familiar. The ceiling seemed to share a feeling, not a sound. The night will stay where it belongs. Anil's thoughts thinned, becoming longer and quieter. Each breath moved without effort. The body rested fully against the bed, supported from every side. Time softened. Moments stretched and blended together. There was no need to notice passing seconds. The ceiling remained awake, wide and patient, guarding the space where sleep could deepen. A gentle warmth spread through Anil's chest, then outward, loosening the last tight places. Arms and legs felt heavy, but comfortable. Nothing drifted away. Nothing came too close. The ceiling continued to hold the dark, making it safe enough to forget about completely. And Anil slept on, quietly and deeply, wrapped in stillness. Beneath Anil's bed there was a wide, shallow drawer. During the day, it held simple things: folded clothes, a scarf, a small box. But at night, it held something else as well. It kept the day safely out of sight. When the evening settled, the drawer became very still. It did not slide or shift. It stayed closed, as if it understood that nothing inside needed to be touched until morning. The drawer had learned how to store moments gently. Sounds from earlier, voices, footsteps, laughter rested quietly inside it. They did not echo or press upward. They stayed folded like fabric, soft and harmless. As Anil slept, the drawer held the weight of the bed and the memory of the day without complaint. It did not release anything back into the room. It guarded rest carefully. The floor around it felt solid and warm. The room felt balanced, as if everything had found its place. Anil's breathing grew even and deep. The body no longer held the shape of the day. Shoulders released. The jaw softened. The chest rose and fell slowly. The drawer remained closed, patient and strong. It did not hurry time forward. It did not pull the night away. Somewhere far off, the world continued. But here, the drawer kept everything quiet. It held the past gently so the present could sleep. Beyond the valley and the long, pale road, dawn was already awake. But it had learned patience. It did not hurry toward the sky. It waited until the night had finished its careful work. Light gathered quietly, not bright enough to wake anyone, just enough to soften the dark. The edges of the world began to blur gently, as if everything were stretching after a long rest. Birds stirred without singing. Their wings shifted, but they stayed silent, listening to the calm. The air remained cool and still, holding on to the quiet like something precious. Inside the house, Annelle slept deeply. The bed held steady. The room stayed balanced. Breath moved slowly and evenly, each rise and fall complete and unforced. The lamp rested, turned off but still warm with memory. The ceiling remained wide and calm. The drawer stayed closed, holding the day safely away. Nothing changed suddenly. Dawn moved closer, step by careful step. Light touched the window without pressing. It did not demand waking. It simply waited to be noticed. Sleep remained full and deep, doing its quiet work of restoring and smoothing. Time felt soft, stretched, unmeasured. When the moment finally came, waking would feel natural. Not pulled, not pushed, just ready. For now, the world stayed still, and Annelle rested. Far beyond busy roads and fast days, there was a lake that had learned how to be quiet. It was not quiet because it was empty. It was quiet because it was full of calm. The water rested so smoothly that the sky liked to look at itself there. Clouds slowed down when they passed above it, as if they did not want to disturb the stillness. Near the lake lived a child named Miro. Miro did not talk much at night. Nighttime was not for talking. Nighttime was for listening. Miro liked to sit by the lake just before sleep, wrapped in a soft coat, feeling the ground stay steady underneath. The lake never splashed or hurried. Even when a leaf touched the surface, the water opened gently and then closed again, leaving no trace. The lake believed that nothing needed to leave a mark to matter. Miro sat close enough to feel the cool air rising from the water. It felt clean and slow, like a long breath. Without thinking, Miro breathed the same way, in and out, easy and wide. The lake held many reflections. Stars, moonlight, a child sitting quietly. None of them moved too fast. None of them needed attention. A small ripple crossed the water and faded on its own. The lake did not chase it. It trusted calm to return naturally. Miro felt heavy in a comforting way, like being gently pressed into a warm bed. Thoughts came, but they arrived softly and left without saying goodbye. Nothing stayed long enough to cause worry. The lake seemed to share a feeling rather than words. Everything can rest now. The air cooled slightly. The sky deepened. Sounds grew distant and round. Even time seemed to slow its steps. Miro stood up carefully, as if not to wake the night, and walked home with the calm still inside. The lake stayed behind, smooth and quiet, practicing silence so others could sleep. And somewhere between the lake and the bed, Miro's eyes began to close. Miro's room had a single window that faced the open sky. It was not a big window, but it was enough. During the day, it let in light. At night, it became something else entirely. It became a quiet watcher. When Miro lay down in bed, the window did not rush to show anything. It waited. The glass cooled slowly. The The curtain rested without moving. Outside, the stars arranged themselves carefully, leaving space between one another. Miro liked this window because it never surprised anyone. It showed only what was ready to be seen. A soft point of light, a slow-moving cloud, the moon passing gently as if floating rather than traveling. The bed felt steady beneath Miro's body. The mattress shaped itself carefully, supporting every place that needed holding. The pillow stayed cool and smooth, waiting for the head to settle. The window reflected Miro faintly, like a memory rather than a mirror. In that reflection, everything looked calmer. Shoulders lower, breath longer, eyes softer. A night breeze brushed the outside of the glass but did not come inside. The window kept the room safe and still. It knew exactly how much of the world to allow in. Somewhere far away, a sound happened, a door closing, a step, a voice. But by the time it reached the window, it had already become quiet. The glass softened it and let it fade away. Miro watched the stars blink slowly, one at a time. They were not signals. They were not messages. They were simply there, doing their gentle work of keeping the sky company. Breathing slowed even more. In. Out. The window stayed awake, so Miro did not have to. It held the night outside, calm and balanced, while sleep began forming quietly inside the room. As Miro's eyelids grew heavy, the stars blurred into soft dots of light. The window continued watching, steady and patient, while Miro drifted into deeper rest, remembering nothing except the feeling of being held by quiet. Against one wall of Miro's room stood a small wooden shelf. During the day, it held books, stones, and a folded scarf. At night, it held something else as well. It held the thoughts that did not need to stay awake. The shelf never made noise. It did not creak or complain. It simply waited, strong and patient, ready to carry whatever became too heavy to hold. As Miro lay quietly, a thought drifted by, small and unfinished. It settled onto the shelf like a feather. Another followed, slower, heavier, and rested beside it. The shelf did not judge or sort them. It just held them safely until morning. The room felt fuller, not with things, but with space. The air grew warmer and softer. Shadows rounded themselves, losing their edges. Miro's hands relaxed. Fingers curled slightly, no longer holding anything at all. The body remembered how to let go. The shelf remained steady, collecting quiet worries, half-finished questions, and tiny memories that did not need attention right now. None of them fell. None of them moved. Outside, the night continued its slow rhythm. Inside, the room deepened into silence. Even the idea of time seemed to settle somewhere far away. Miro's breathing became smooth and regular, like a gentle wave arriving and leaving without effort. The shelf felt the calm spreading and stood even more firmly. A peaceful emptiness appeared, not lonely, not cold, just open and safe. There was nothing left to think about, nothing waiting to be done. The shelf stayed awake, strong and quiet, guarding everything that could be picked up later. Miro sank further into rest, floating gently between thoughts and dreams, held by stillness. Sleep thickened like soft fog, wrapping around the room and settling everywhere. The shelf faded from attention, its work done for the night, and Miro slept on, deeply and completely. The floor beneath Miro's bed was covered by a soft carpet, woven in quiet colors that did not ask to be noticed. During the day, it felt many footsteps pass over it. Slow ones, quick ones, playful ones. At night, it remembered only the gentle ones. As Miro slept, the carpet rested flat and warm, holding the shape of the room without shifting. It carried the memory of safe movements. Walking home, standing still, turning toward rest. These memories were not sharp. They were smooth, worn soft by time. The carpet spread calm upward, through the bed frame, through the mattress, into Miro's body. Legs grew heavy. Feet felt grounded, even in sleep. There was no floating away too fast. Everything stayed connected. Somewhere in the house, the walls settled. The ceiling remained high and still. The air rested exactly where it was. The carpet did not dream. It did not need to. It simply stayed, doing the quiet work of holding the night together. Dust rested. Threads lay close to one another. Nothing pulled apart. Miro shifted slightly, turning toward a deeper place of sleep. The carpet accepted the change without resistance. It adjusted without moving. Outside sounds softened before they reached the floor. Even vibrations faded as they traveled downward. The carpet absorbed them and let them go. Time slowed even more. The night stretched long and even, like a deep, calm breath that never needed to end. The carpet remained patient. It did not count the hours. It did not wait for morning. It stayed fully in the now. Miro's sleep grew deeper, steady and uninterrupted. The body rested with trust. The mind stayed quiet. And beneath it all, the carpet remembered only peace. Far beyond Miro's room, far beyond the lake and the quiet land around it, morning already existed, but it had learned something important. Not everything needs to arrive quickly. Morning knew that night was still doing its careful work. So the light stayed low and patient. It did not push against the sky. It rested behind the hills, warming slowly, like hands rubbing together gently. Birds were awake, but they did not sing yet. They listened first. They felt the calm and decided to keep it. Their voices waited, folded neatly inside their chests. The world outside moved only when it had to. Trees stayed still. Paths remained empty. Even the air seemed to pause, holding its breath, so sleep could finish. Inside the room, Miro slept deeply. The body was heavy and safe. The mind floated quietly, not thinking, not dreaming too loudly. Breath moved in a slow, steady rhythm, each one complete and unhurried. The window kept watching. The shelf kept holding. The carpet stayed warm and steady. Nothing changed suddenly. Nothing interrupted. Morning continued to wait. It understood that rest is part of growing. It understood that waking feels best when sleep has been full and deep. Slowly, very slowly, the dark thinned at the edges. Not bright, not sharp, just a soft easing. The promise of light without the demand to wake. When the time finally came, it would come kindly, with warmth, with quiet. But for now, the night remained whole, and Miro rested. Deep in the heart of the whispering woods, where the leaves are made of soft velvet and the grass feels like a warm rug, lived a tiny koala named Coda. Coda wasn't like the other forest animals. He had a special gift. Every night, as the sun began to dip behind the violet mountains, Coda would climb to the very top of the silver eucalyptus tree to perform a very important task. He was the weaver of dreams. The evening glow as the sky turned the color of a ripe peach. Coda would reach into his little pocket and pull out a handful of starlight dust. He didn't throw it. He let it drift gently on the breeze, like tiny fireflies dancing in slow motion. Each speck of dust carried a peaceful thought. The smell of fresh rain, the sound of a distant lullaby, or the feeling of a cozy hug. The gentle journey tonight, Coda watched as the moon rose, looking like a giant glowing pearl. He decided to visit his friends to make sure their pillows were soft and their hearts were light. He hopped down from his branch and floated, not walked, but floated toward the sparkling stream. There, he saw Pip the rabbit. Pip's ears were twitching, still thinking about the day's adventures. Coda whispered a secret word into the wind, serenity. Suddenly, Pip's ears flopped down and his nose stopped wiggling. He curled into a perfect ball of fluff, dreaming of fields filled with giant, marshmallow soft dandelions. A world of wonders. Coda continued his stroll through the woods. He passed the great oak where the owls were humming a low, steady tune. The air felt cool and sweet, smelling of wild jasmine and honey. He looked up and saw the stars blinking, like friendly eyes watching over the world. The world is safe, Coda thought, and everyone is tucked in tight. He found a small clearing where the flowers glowed with a soft blue light. He sat down and closed his eyes, feeling the gentle rhythm of the earth breathing beneath him. He imagined a golden blanket stretching across the whole world, covering every child and every creature with warmth and kindness. Closing the day, finally, Coda returned to his silver eucalyptus. He found his favorite branch, which was lined with the softest moss in the forest. He yawned a long, slow yawn that stretched from his toes to his ears. He realized that the best part of his job wasn't making dreams for others, but knowing that tomorrow would be a brand new day full of light. As he closed his eyes, the forest fell into a beautiful silence, broken only by the soft rustle of leaves. Coda was fast asleep, and you are too, drifting away into your own wonderful adventure. In Coda's dreams, the world expands into a playground of pure wonder, where the laws of the forest transform into magic. The kingdom of clouds, Coda finds himself floating atop a giant, shimmering cloud that tastes faintly of vanilla. In this dream space, he doesn't need to climb. He simply thinks of a place, and the cloud gently tilts to take him there. He sails over a sea made of liquid silk, where friendly whales leap out of the water, leaving trails of glittery bubbles that turn into tiny stars as they hit the air. The garden of whispering colors. He lands in a valley where the flowers are as tall as houses. Instead of petals, these flowers have wings made of stained glass. When Coda touches them, they play a soft musical note, creating a symphony that sounds like 1,000 tiny harps. He meets a tiger made of orange sunset light, who doesn't roar but purrs a melody that makes the ground glow. They sit together and watch the moonflowers bloom, only open when someone thinks, a kind thought. The Library of Stars Coda then enters a floating library where the books have no pages, only glowing lights. When he holds one, he doesn't read words. He feels stories. He feels the bravery of a little bird's first flight and the deep peace of an ancient mountain. He realizes that every star in the sky is actually a happy memory kept safe for someone to find later. The infinite hug as his dream winds down, Coda feels a gentle warmth surrounding him, like the whole universe is giving him a soft embrace. He sees a path made of silver pebbles leading back to his cozy branch. He knows that no matter how far he travels in his imagination, he is always held, always safe, and always loved. The colors of his dream begin to fade into a soft, misty violet, guiding him back to the deepest, most restful part of his slumber. As the misty violet of Coda's dream settles, the story moves into the quietest part of the night, the time when the stars are at their brightest and the world is perfectly still. The midnight parade, deep within his peaceful slumber, Coda feels the forest itself begin to sing a silent song. In this final part of the journey, he sees a parade of gentle giants, elephants made of starlight, and giraffes with necks that reach the moon. They walk with silent footsteps across the treetops, spreading a blanket of silver mist over the woods. This mist is special. It carries away any tiny worries, turning them into bubbles that pop and release the scent of lavender. The fountain of quiet Coda dreams he reaches the center of the forest, where a hidden fountain flows with liquid moonlight. Instead of splashing, the water moves like slow honey, creating circles of golden light on the ground. He dips his paw into the cool glow and realizes this is where all the world's patience comes from. He feels incredibly heavy and relaxed, as if his bones are made of soft feathers and his heart is a warm candle. The return to the morning star as the dream begins to reach its end. A single blue butterfly flutters onto Coda's nose. It whispers that the sun is still far away, tucked behind the edge of the world, resting just like him. Coda feels a wave of gratitude for his soft moss bed and the sturdy branches of the silver eucalyptus. He realizes that being small is a wonderful thing because the world is so big and full of secrets to protect him. The final hush. The forest breathes in and the forest breathes out. The wind tucks itself into the valleys and the shadows turn into soft velvet cushions. Coda is no longer traveling. He is simply being. He is a part of the stars, a part of the trees, and a part of the quiet air. The story of his day is finished, the book of his night is closed, and the ink is made of pure, shimmering peace. Everything is exactly as it should be. The night is long, the bed is warm, and the dreams are waiting to carry you through to the dawn.